I'm yours truly, Pastor Wheat, your voice in the street, never missing a beat. Listen, we have live here in the studio, WIGO 1570. Got my co-host.
Speedy Hood, keep me hood. What's up, y'all?
Hey, man, listen, man, we got our sidekick in the Ford truck, Doctor.
Dr. Gino, man, appreciate you.
Hey, man, listen, y'all, I am so excited. We have special guests in the studio today. As we know, this is Painting the City Purple. We are speaking and addressing domestic violence. There's so many people. How can I put it? I tell my daughters all the time, I got 3 beautiful daughters. I have a 35-year-old, 33-year-old, and a 30-year-old. And I always tell them, listen, if you're experiencing domestic violence, please let me know. But one thing I need you to do, I need you to call the police first and then call daddy, because I'm going to be the cleanup. I'm going to take care of what the police don't take care of, but we need paper trail. But all serious now, all serious aside, there are so many cases of domestic violence that's not reported. And so I'm here with the city today, and we trying to see what it is that we can do together. Because people always say, man, listen, you got your own agenda, I got my own agenda, but it works so much better when we do it together. Man, listen, I met some great people from the city. I know I told this great man, Mr. Marcus, man, I told him and Mr. Chris and Reginald, I said, hey, man, when you look at the city, and more people, when you say city, get what? They ain't even giving you a time to sit down and have a conversation. They're just going to automatically put you in the category police. Well, if you ain't doing that wrong, then you can sit down with the police. Bishop, we ain't doing that wrong, so I can sit down with whomever. So I had the opportunity to sit down with this young man by the name of Mr. Chris, man. Awesome brother for the city, man. I'm talking about down to earth. And me and him begin to collaborate some things that we can do as a partnership to come in and go along with the city. One, to push our mayor, because you got to understand, he has a hard job. We just need him to run the city. But everybody else need to come together and help him become their own responsible, I kind of put a participant, to participate in doing what we need to do to get it done. So I'm going to try to introduce y'all self. Go ahead.
Well, good morning. I'm Angie Smith. I am the CVI Senior Operations Manager with the Mayor's Office of Violence Reduction. Thank you for having us today.
Okay.
I manage all federal funding for CVI community, which is Community Violence Intervention. And I also handle all partnerships with our community violence intervention organizations.
Okay.
Yes.
Good morning. My name is Christopher Harrington. I am the Recidivism and Reentry Operations Manager for the Mayor's Office of Violence Reduction. I work in the capacity of space of putting all persons and organizations together that are dealing with gentlemen and young men coming in and out of jail, intervention, all things criminal justice, making sure that the community is able to give our young men and women coming home resources. And a lot of times when persons go to jail, strain on family, mama, daddy, grandmama, auntie. A lot of times our young men don't have GEDs when they go in, have not had higher education, no vocational skills. And so the space that I am is making sure that we come together as a city with all the organizations to make sure that they have off-ramps, opportunities to get back, to be a part of this great city, to be able to have some gainful employment, to be able to have an opportunity to reconnect with their families, to be able to have mental health support, economic support, employment, all those things. So thank you again, Bishop Weeks, for having us here today.
Okay. Hey, listen, and this is one of the questions I wanted to ask, because as y'all know, I'm the voice from the street. So I hear the street talking a lot. But like I said, I've had a sat down. You know, I use that good old term, sat down. Had to sit down with this young man, and I tell you, I was sitting down with Mr. Chris, man. You know, he explained to me things that they had going on in the city. And I'm like, wow, and that's because we are so bridged apart, and the city is working. But when you got everybody doing their own thing, everybody miss out on the main focus. If we came together with the city, which is a big identity by itself, we can be much powerful and much aggressive attacking what needs to be attacked. Now, we know this is domestic violence month. Can one of y'all tell us what's the stats on domestic violence now? Have it increased? Have it decreased? And what is the city doing with other collaboration to decrease it if it hadn't been decreased?
Absolutely. That's actually a good question, which led to the No More campaign. So every day, Mayor Dickens meets with our Chief Sherbaum, the police chief, and he noticed the increase in domestic violence incidents coming through APD. And it was alarming and it was consistently increasing. So the mayor was like, that's not right. The people need help. So he reached out to our office, connected with us on what we're doing. He said, how can I help? What can I do as a mayor? So he started a digital campaign, which is the No More campaign we brought to Atlanta. And there's 3 reasons. One, we want to get resources to the people who need them. One of the hardest things when you're going through domestic violence is to reach out for help because you don't want to be rejected. You don't want to make yourself vulnerable, and you don't want to call and they say, we can't help you here. You got to call and call and call. So we did that work for them. And we connected with partners throughout the community who've been doing this work for years and who said, we want to join the mayor in bringing awareness. And then the other reason was the general public. A lot of us live in bubbles where we don't even know. Someone said to me, I didn't even know people die from domestic violence. They're dying every day.
Yes.
It's a serious issue. And you're working with these people. You're going to the grocery store with these people. You're at church with people that are experiencing domestic violence. So, it's something that we need to educate the general public on. And then lastly, there are organizations that are working in domestic violence consistently. And we wanted to be able to highlight the work that they've been doing. It's not a easy topic to discuss. And so oftentimes domestic violence agencies don't get the highlight that they deserve in order to get the support to keep doing the shelters, to keep clothing, keep teaching defense classes. So we're doing all of that through this No More campaign.
Okay, let me ask you this. How long has the No campaign, how long has it been existing? Is it something you started this year or it's been ongoing? Because like I said, a lot of stuff that I'm hearing this year, I'm impressed. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know the city had this going on. I go, when you say the city of Atlanta, I go as far as back as P.U.S.H. Do anybody know what P.U.S.H is?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. So you got to be born here. You got to be born. You can't be flown. You can't be flown here. You got to be born
I'm an
here.
adopted P.U.S.H.
P.U.S.H was the private industry council.
Okay.
It's one of the things they had set up for the youth.
Okay.
So when we see all the youth right now on the expressway selling bottled waters, they took the P.U.S.H out. So there's no more summer job. They could work at 13 and 14 during the summer to make a little money. And what happened, we had a lot of parks that had pools. So they would open up the parks for summer and have the youth to come in, run the lockers, clean up, so they would work 4 hours a day. And so, and it just things to put out there. One thing I learned about dealing with young people, they don't want to hear a testimony. They want to see one.
They want to see it.
And so when we put things in place, and I love sitting down talking to Mr. Chris. He said one of the things me and him was talking about implementing was bringing back stewardship. Mentorship is good, but when you're talking to a 15-year-old boy that's mama's on drugs and his stomach get hungry around about 11 o'clock, everything that I talked to him about that day, it goes out the window. Now reality kicks in. But if we give them stewardship, if we give them something to do, if we teach them how to, because college ain't for everybody, just being real. So we teach them how a different trade for us, like how to do body work, how to paint. We get them something to pour that nigga energy into, you know what I'm saying? And the city, when you look at Atlanta, man, I tell you, I drove trucks all over the world. There's no other city. I don't care how many lights I see, ain't nothing like Atlanta.
Nothing.
When I hit Hartsville, when I said big old sign, I said, welcome to Atlanta.
Welcome to Atlanta.
That's my home team.
Yes.
Only problem I have with Atlanta.
I'm listening.
It's the Falcons.
Oh,
that's it.
Yeah, I've been set up.
Don't even participate.
Okay, I won't.
We're gonna edit that part out.
Red, black, and white.
Yeah, listen. And I tell them, I say, when we look at the fact, though, all serious, when you look at the fact that y'all already got programs and you got, organization that's set up to address the domestic violence, that's a big plus.
Yes.
Because a lot of time, me being a pastor, I'm the first person they call. I'm the first person they call for a funeral. I'm the first person they call when little Pooh get on jumped on them.
Yep.
I'm the first person they call when Pastor, I want out of my marriage.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, they don't never go into detail where I've been abused for the last 6 months and I can't take it no more. So we need to know, what I'm saying, who do we refer them to? Who do we put them to? Because I seen a young lady, I won't call her name. She was in a very abusive relationship, and we seen her. She had on shades,
Mhm.
and Dr. Lena, she here with today, and she gonna tell who she is and what she do with us. But the young lady, she came to me. She said, Pastor, this young lady's been beaten.
Mhm.
She hid it so well, and I've learned y'all hide stuff very
Mhm.
well. Y'all know how to wear a smile,
Mhm.
but be full of pain in the
Mhm.
inside. She told me, she said, Pastor, this young lady's been beaten.
Yes.
And of course, I try to tell you, all I know is prayer, but just being real, sometimes they take a little more than prayer.
Mhm.
Even the word says faith without works is dead.
David.
So we had to put something with it, but we ended up getting a young lady into a safe house, I think. We got into a safe house and we're down in Starkbridge, but she had to make the decision, I got to leave. Because safe house is like, once you go in now, you got to cut everybody off.
Mhm.
Family, don't nobody know where you at, but
Yeah.
them and you. And I said, when you look at the fact, I did 3 funerals just this year, young ladies losing their lives to their boyfriend.
Mhm.
I did an 18-year-old, well, she was 18 or 19. 18, was she 18? Anyway, a young lady right here in College Park, it was on the news, Old National Highway, just got out of school, just graduated, trying to break up with a knucklehead. He didn't want to, what I'm saying? And like I said, the domestic violence now has changed because
Mhm.
it went from you hitting a young lady to now they
Killing.
killing them.
Mhm.
And I'm like, this
Mhm.
18-year-old baby, and then you shot her,
Mhm.
the best friend,
Mhm.
and you shot a baby.
Yes.
So I'm like, but this is my thing because we all here grown. You got to know there's something much more than that. It got to be something mental going on. So how is the city even dealing with that part of it, the mental part of it? Because when I look at the jail, everybody that's in there don't need to be incarcerated.
Mhm.
Some of these people need some
Some
hospitalization.
Yes.
They need to be, what I mean. I remember
Mhm.
back in the day, you had one time to say you're gonna commit suicide.
Mhm.
If you said you're gonna commit suicide and mama them heard that, you're going to Georgia Reach.
Mhm.
They had you down in Milledgeville on that next bus.
Yes.
Now it's like a 13th floor and greater. Right. But now it's so common because we band-aid everything
Mhm.
and we pacify everything
Yes.
instead of addressing the root.
Yes.
So I guess my question to y'all this morning is how do we identify and what are we doing to address it? And then I'm gonna come back and tell you what we can do to help address
To
it.
help that.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good question. For us as a city, one of the biggest things is just making people aware. A lot of people are not aware of what domestic violence looks like. And it has changed and evolved. Domestic violence, that you have in your mind that it's just women. Well, some of the statistics that we've received says men have increased in experiencing domestic violence and they're not saying anything. There's a large LGBTQ plus community that is struggling with domestic violence. The school APS system has let us know that the couples in schools, there's a lot of domestic violence where the girls are the offender. And the parent never know what's going on. Your child is being humiliated at school, but they're not telling because they think they have it in control. And this is personal for me because when I was in college, I moved here in 99. I experienced domestic violence. I loved him. He was a good church boy, trying to process everything. And I thought I had it under control. So did I tell my family? No. And there's so much help you need and you don't even know how bad it is. So our goal is to make people aware what are the signs of domestic violence, how to know if you're experiencing this and when to get help. And then also, if you know someone, if you got a friend that's coming and you see has bruises or he has bruises and you didn't want to say anything or you want to help, how do you help safely?
Right.
Because telling them to come to your house and then the guy come over and shoot your house up and that person is probably not the safest way. So we want to educate you on the safest way to help. The safest way to get the resources. We want to show you where the resources are. And for the city, our office is violence reduction. We've taken the approach as we don't want to create a lot of programming. We understand these organizations out here, they've been doing this for years. They are the experts. So for our office, we come in and we're going to highlight the work that you're doing. We're going to help you get the resources you need. We're going to help you with your capacity building so you can do what you do and do it well. And we as a government can do what we do, and that's support you well. So I think working with the faith community is huge because a lot of people are willing to be vulnerable when they come to the church. That's how I got help. A church surrounded me and told me, you know what? You don't have to live like this. You can get help. And I believed them. And I got help. And I got out of that situation. That's why this is so important to me. That's why when I saw us paint Atlanta purple, it meant something to me because I know I was that student that needed somebody to see beyond my surface smile and my MAC makeup. You know, see past that and give me help. Don't just see and say pray, but see, pray, and help.
Right. And I love what you're saying. And this I want to add to what you were saying. And I heard you said we have to be visible. And I just want my listener, my audience to know, what does domestic violence look like? Because like I said, y'all hide it so good. You know what I mean? I was sharing it with a young lady, and she just broke down crying. Mm-hmm. And out of the blue, this is no lie, I just told her, you know what I mean? I don't know what made me say it. Well, I know what made me say it because I know who leads me. I tell them all the time, I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I know who holds tomorrow. But I told her, I said, you can't hide everything behind the weed. And when I said that, she just started crying. I said, it's going to be all right. Mm-hmm. She said, you don't even know, I was thinking about killing myself this morning. And I began to talk to her. I began to minister to her. I said, let me say something to you. Nothing can be that bad. If last night wasn't your last night and you woke up this morning to tell the story, then there's an effort to push forward. But like you said, because we are so, I love my people, but sometimes we can be so critical.
Yes.
And you know, if I need help, I need help.
I need help.
I don't listen. If I need an egg sandwich, I don't need you to tell me how to make it. Mm-hmm. I just need an egg sandwich. And so that's where we at now. We at the place now where first we got to learn how to identify it. Mm-hmm. Because if she had not seen it, it would have went past me. Because like you said, she wore the makeup well.
Yes.
She had on the shades, yes. And I'm thinking it's summertime. She just cooling. Mm-hmm. She just got her good girl look going on. Mm-hmm. But when she began to talk to her, this young lady broke down and said she had just got beaten that morning. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, only thing in my mind, I just went back to, I got $3.
Yes.
It's possibly, and people don't understand, it can be happening. Like you said, and let's clear this for the worker. It ain't all church boys. It was just their church boy. You know what I'm saying? But when people look at the church, they look at the church as a place of restoration, mm-hmm. a place of redemption. And I was sharing this with my brother. I told him, I said, man, listen, a lot of people don't understand until you get the church involved. A lot of battles we will lose. Mm-hmm. I don't care where you go in this city, you're going to have a church somewhere. Now, the only thing I fought the church for, just like the hospital is open 24 hours, the church should be open 24 hours. Absolutely. So if that homeless man ain't got nowhere to come to, he can walk into that church, say, brother, I need help. Mm-hmm. How can we get help if help is closed? Yes. And so when we look at, like I said, I love some of the things he shared with me about what the city is doing. And I took my team, we went 7 years. 7 years. And I'm talking about, we've been hands-on out of our pocket. We teamed up with this young lady, Dr. Lena. I'll let her tell you, what she do. But we realized even with our problem, when we deal with trying to help the people, is a lot of with them with mental illness. Yes. That's not my expertise. Mm-hmm. My expertise is I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to marry you. Yes. I'm going to counsel you. I'm going to bury you if need to be. And so we brought her in. She came in. She told us, she said, Pastor, they dealing with mental illness. Mm-hmm. How can you fix the broken child? You can't fix the broken child until you fix the broken mom. Yes. You can't fix the broken mom until you fix the broken home. every young man that me and my cousin and my brother here, we speak with mental, the issue they have is they can't stand their stepdaddy.
Mhm.
They don't get along with their stepdaddy. They this close from killing their stepdaddy. And so, and that still can be registered as domestic violence, family
Yes,
violence.
it's family violence.
So,
Yeah.
and one of the things we tell them, I say, now, if you kill your stepdad, what it leaves you? Because you won't be able to protect mama, you won't be able to protect sister.
Mhm.
So we have to create better resolution. I told him, I said, man, listen, this is what we need. We need to buy a farm. It's just me talking now. We need to buy a farm. And I know it may sound lame and corny to some people, but we buy a farm and teach these children agriculture.
Mhm.
Teach them how to plant corn. Take all that bitterness, all that anger,
Mhm.
and put it in the ground and show 'em. I just learned something, blew my mind. Blew my mind. I'm a city boy. I've been a city boy all my life. God told me, he said, hey man, he said, you sure you want to ride this horse?
Mhm.
I said, hey man, listen, man, I gotta try. They told me don't knock nothing until you try.
Say try.
I said, yeah, man, I want to ride this horse. He said, let me explain something to you. If you ain't never rode a horse, let me explain something to you. The horse is trained to your mood. If you angry, he gonna ride
Yes.
angry. If you mild, he gonna ride you like. And I'm tripping on him. I'm tripping. I'm like, man, come on, you for real? He said, yes. He said, if you get on this horse angry, he liable to throw you off.
Will.
Right.
Yeah.
Will.
I said, man, you serious? He said, horse is therapy. That's why he said the therapy of a horse. He said that's why if you ever notice a horse is so calm until you get him there.
Mhm.
He said most time you see a horse, you'll see a dog. He growled a cat. Horse, he's sitting in the passage there, showing mind his own little business.
Mhm.
But he said, your move determined. I said, wow. So that's when I thought about the agriculture. I said, now if we get these young men into some planting, some garden,
Mhm.
because just being real, we're gonna need it. Yeah,
Yes.
y'all don't believe it. We're gonna need some garden. I went to the store the other day. Yeah, I went to the store the other day. I got a family of 6, including myself. And I'm well bred. Eating is one of my favorite.
Mine too.
I don't eat a lot. I don't eat a lot, but I love the taste.
Mhm.
Hey, let me taste that. I experiment. I do a lot of cooking. So I went to the store, chicken wings, pack of chicken wings. And I must have missed 10 years. I had to miss 10 years.
Mhm.
I guess it just been my wife buying a grocery.
Yeah.
So I no more than that. I went and bought a family pack of chicken wings with 12 wings in the pack. $18.
Mhm. Yes, sir.
We weren't eating chicken that night. What I'm trying to see is, what I'm trying to say is, even with that, if we teach them, see, listen, if we don't teach them anything, if we don't give them something to do, they'll find something to do. Well, my son is 8 years old. And oh man, when I say 8, but he really 80.
Yeah.
He told me he came home the other day. He said, hey, Dad. I said, yeah. He said, man, these folks in my school be selling perks. I said, perks? I know what's going on. I'm messing with him just to see what he know. I said, what kind of perks? He said, man, they got the 7.5. They got the 10.325. I said, listen. I said, so what are you doing? Because I'm very attentive now. Because, son, listen, you ain't wearing black unless you're going to do some mechanic work.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't wearing all black unless you're going out there jacking up a tie or taking off a tie. You ain't wearing all blue unless you're going into the Navy. And you definitely ain't wearing all red. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very attentive to the different signs of gang affiliation, all this right here. So I keep him neutral. When he Dad, I'm gonna wear no. Oh, sorry. And so I show something what we don't do now that we did back then, because you gotta understand, now we don't have grandmas no more. We have G-moms and GGs. Yeah. And that's a different type of grandma.
Mm-hmm.
The old grandma would go to PTA meeting
Mm-hmm.
and sit there and give that eye. She had to say a word. Listen, you got
Yeah.
it was just something about grandmama. Look, you know,
No.
she wasn't nothing to play with. She
Yes.
wasn't nothing to play with, and so now, and it's not attack nobody. And like I said, come back with you, Dr. Lean. We got to get back to find out what's going on in their site. You know what I'm saying? And again, parents have to parent. When you walk through a Walmart and you see a child walking through the store, I told my son, I said, listen, man, what I tell my son the other day? I said, listen, man, somebody gonna rob you and bust in your head. You know why? Because you always in your phone, man.
Not aware.
I said, you're not attentive, man. You gotta sometimes listen, man, put the phone down.
Mm-hmm.
Look what's around you.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to find myself, you know, they say I'm hard at the house, Dr. Lean. Because in my house, and my wife can tell you, she right there, ain't but 2 hours of TV. 2 hours of TV. So, and I try to prepare them. You know what I'm saying? Listen, this is the real world. One day, dad, he said he gonna go to my house. If you go, you give him 2 hours. You can watch news, you can watch gospel, whatever, but you give him 2 hours. Got bills around here to pay. But listen, but then I told him, I said, listen, I want you to learn to read. Absolutely. Like you once said, if you ever want to keep anything from a black man, put it in the book. Because we don't read. So my son now, he got to the point now. I told him, use your imagination. Read your story. And then a lot of stories I tell them to read, you know what I'm saying? We got a library down. And I have a lot of one, you know, and please, y'all, it may not be your favorite, but it's my favorite. Dr. King. I have a lot of books by Dr. King. And so my son, he's learning who Dr. King is, because you gotta understand, history now ain't the history that we grew up on.
It's not.
They have took it. I told them, I said, if they took a cursive out of the school, how do you get a signature now?
Right. You know, you type it in your phone.
Right. So we just like I said, it's all back to here again, the mind game. And let me let Dr. Lena Interrate come in right now.
I have a question, because I heard his name say something. A lot of people don't know that men go through domestic violence. I know that there's a lot of stuff in place when it comes to the women.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, me and Pastor Wheat and myself were just talking about that the other day about men going through domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm very transparent. I was one of the ones, not because I had to, but because I didn't. I was raised in a household you don't put your hands on a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, as you were saying earlier, that I love the lady.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I did, but she was just violent.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was verbal, physical, anything else, she was just violent. But I did a lot of stuff to protect myself. So I went and walk out with the bleeding in the face, all the stretch. You know, I held her, but other than that, she was just violent.
Mm-hmm.
So what's in place for a man if he needed to go somewhere? Because a lot of men won't tell you because of pride and, you know, the macho thing. But it's a lot of them out here be about to lose their life
Yes.
from a woman because they're too scared to tell you.
Yes. So first, we partner with several organizations. I'll just tell you: Partnership Against Domestic Violence, the Atlanta Victim Assistance. That's another one. We have Atlanta Volunteer Lawyers Foundation. They help you get temporary protection orders. So there's several organizations out there that when they call our office, or even when they call 311, we have a call center. If you don't know anything, you want to get help in the city of Atlanta, you can call 311 and tell them your situation, and they will get you the help that you need. So, or they will put you in contact with our office as well. But thank you so much for bringing that. I've gotten so many calls, emails from people on the streets. Look, I'm a street dude, to an executive saying, I experienced it. I'm not willing to go on camera. I'm not willing to tell anybody, but I want you to fight so that men's voices heard. So people know that men struggle with this and we don't tell people. And I think a lot of the our job is just trying to educate people so we can see it differently. Because if you close your eyes and think of domestic violence, the first thing you think about is intimate partner, right, where you think about a woman getting abused by a man. And that's not, I mean, yes, it is still the majority, but it's not all of the story. A lot of people grew up in a household where there was domestic violence and you were a child and you felt helpless. Right. My mama getting beat, there's nothing I can do, but I'm so mad. And then I grew up with that anger in me. And I'm trying to figure out, and I view that anger as masculinity. That may not be true, but that's how I view it.
Right.
And it start coming out on my jobs. It start coming out in my relationships. It start coming out, in my finances, on my social media page. And I don't even see it. Everybody else sees it but me. So thank you for bringing that. And that's our goal, is to bring people to the new light. Since COVID, domestic violence has even changed. People were stuck in the house with each other where they used to be able to get a way of escape, and then they had to deal with that. So yeah, it really evolved. And so our goal is not to say we have all the answers, but to get the conversation going, to get people talking. When you're at home, when you're at church, when you at work at the break table, you don't have to tell your personal story, but let's start talking about it, so it's not something that people have to hide. They can get the help that they need.
Tell your story, but I tell you
Awesome.
Yes.
Dr. Lena?
It's awesome. Everything you all are saying is wonderful. I'm Dr. Clark, and I'm the CEO and founder of Miracle Mind Global, and also the CEO of Two Miracle Group in Mexico. Miracle Mind Global is where we do the cycle education, and we educate individuals about mental health. I've been in this role for almost 20 years, and what confirmed my position here is losing my husband in 2008 to suicide. And as we said, men don't talk. Forums like this podcast is what we really need to bring men to the forefront. Because we focus on women, yes, but the men, they're not going to say anything. Men move in silence. Some are coming out, but when you have a group like this or have a forum within the city of Atlanta, they're going to come. They just need the door open. And also, the statistics with suicide is high. It's the 7th leading cause of death right now.
Wow.
And it's going to increase. And I tell you why. Simply because people are really tired. We're dealing with a lot, the economy, so people feel like that's the only way out.
Yeah.
And so we provide a lot of information. We have professionals for 24/7. Because if someone is having suicide ideations, they're not going to wait for a return call. They're not even going to wait for someone to put them on hold. They're not going to wait until Monday until the office opens. So we are providing hands-on support 24/7. If it's 2 a.m, 3 a.m, we take your call. We have someone that can meet you, whatever the situation is. We want people to know that it's okay to open up and talk. No more, sweeping under the rug. Our culture has been taught. Don't tell anyone. So if you don't tell anyone, how can you get help? From a scripture perspective, we're faith-based as well. So we have partnered with, Benjamin Mays and other schools and organizations throughout the city of Atlanta to push and get the message out there. We want people to know that it's okay. If you go to the physical doctor, it's no different. It's just your mind. You got to remove that stigma.
We do.
Of you're crazy. We all are on a different level.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
So what we have to do again is just keep pushing. Like you're knocking on the door and you want somebody to open it, and you know somebody's in there. That's how we have to do when it comes to mental health.
Sure.
Everything starts with the mind, domestic violence. A lot of these individuals are hurt. Hurt people. I got a call yesterday from a couple, and so the wife has been getting counseling, and she's ready to walk out, and they're members of a great church in the city of Atlanta. However, the husband is now realizing I need help, but finding out he was molested as a child.
Mm-hmm.
So he was taking it out on his wife. So again, it trickles down from the top.
Right.
And so these kind of platforms are talking, because otherwise they're just going to sit back, because they're going to continue with the mask. The people who we think aren't going through, or the ones who have more on their plate, are the ones who really need it. And they're not going to cry because they don't want to be judged, and they don't want anyone to know they're going through it.
Right. I'm gonna ask something. I was looking at something. I was sharing this on the radio this morning. The young man, I think his name is Terry Crews.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at his biopic, and he said when he was younger, a lot of people saying, "Man, why you so cut? You know what I mean? Why you're a beast, you're an animal, you built." He said he remember as a little boy being 5 or 6 that his mother used to get always beaten by his father. And he said in his mind, he said, I'm gonna get built, I'm gonna get strong, so one day I can knock my daddy out for being my mama. He said one day he began to start playing football, so they had him on weight regimen. He was doing the weight. So he got home kind of late that evening, and he said he realized his mom and dad had been fighting. His mom was unconscious. Dad knocked his mom unconscious. So when he seen this, he said he attacked his dad. He went to wailing on his dad. He beat his dad till his dad was unconscious. He said, but the thing that hurt me most about the whole situation, he said, after I got through wailing on my daddy, I felt bad. And so it tapped into me, let me know that we got to find other resolution than violence.
Yes.
Because 9 times 10, you know, we our culture is different from other cultures. If you do something to my family, I'm coming and do something to your family. Do something to my dog, I'll do something to your cat. You know what I'm saying? We have to first of all, learn how to communicate.
Yes.
And we got to utilize the programs and organizations that's here. Let me tell you something. People been here all my life. 211 been here forever. And there's people that still don't know about 211.
Yes.
What is 211? Man, that's United, man. Call them folk, man. Whatever you need, they'll get you there. And so they was like, we had a situation. It's not meant long ago. And the young lady, she was saying, and I tell people this all the time. Listen, I know come when I see her come. I just look that way. Don't let the church thing fool you. I ain't been saved all my life. So the young lady was saying, she said, I got 5 children. I'm homeless. That may be true. But this is what I do know. They will help you quicker with them 5 children than with a single man that's out there by himself. Sometimes you have to leave your distraction to get help. Won't call her name, but young lady called us. She was in distress. I'm getting ready to get put out. I just need somewhere to stay for 2 weeks. My wife come to me, baby. Listen, the young lady needs somewhere to stay. She a good friend of mine. She says she needs somewhere to stay for 2 weeks. And I know us. Once we stay somewhere, we don't want to leave. So I was already contemplating. Yeah, I was already contemplating like it may not work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm like, baby, you sure? She's like, baby, I just want to help her. I don't want to see her out. So I agreed to something that I didn't want to agree to. You know what I mean? Just to say we're gonna help her. You know what I'm saying? But I said, I'm trying to push everything. Hey, baby, listen, big Red Cross, they got all kind of stuff out there. Baby, this is my friend. I'm gonna tell you what killed it. We said, okay, you can come for 2 weeks, bring your 2 children, all good. But the surprising kicker was she showed up with her 2 kids and her boyfriend.
He found out she was
First of all, boyfriend ain't finna stay at my house, not with my wife. And I be gone too much, and not with my children. And I don't trust them. But get what? I ain't open no door that ain't got to be open. And I said, okay, when you gave the story, you said you 2 kids. So is he dropping? I may be missing something. I don't want to jump to conclusions. Is he dropping furniture off? Is he dropping holes off? I mean, is he just dropping you off? She was like, no, we together. We need. And I had to explain to us, people will help you quicker. Me and my wife been together 10 years. She ain't had to call her mom for $10 a gas. Because that's my responsibility. And that's why I tell my daughter, listen, don't bring me nobody. I don't want to meet no friend. I don't want to meet nobody you just doing. If somebody going to be your husband, I need to meet him because I need to examine him. Because if you're going to take her last name, that means this I ain't obligated to do nothing else for her. She ain't got my last name no more. As long as she got my last name, as a dad, I'm still obligated to do for her at 35. But when she gets your last name, then that's your responsibility. So my wife already know, baby, that'll just be me and the kids coming. Yes, yeah, you're right. It'll just be you and the kids coming to Thanksgiving. I don't want to meet no new faces. So even with getting help, and people got to understand that it's so many shelters that's in the city of Atlanta that would help women. I know Gateway is one of them. Go ahead.
Well, that's true, but they're full. Many of them are full. I helped a lady 2 months ago, and now she's in a hotel. Her and her daughter up in a hotel twice. Was down at 5 in the morning. The line was long. She was turned down. So a lot of people are giving up because they're tired of being put on hold. What the city of Atlanta should do is partner with private companies. A lot of these companies are larger companies, And so they go through this is the system. And so being that what I'm trying to say is that they put them through the system. And they don't want to go through that. So that's why they're out. They'd rather live on the street or call someone like you, a friend like your wife. She called your wife first. But again, they're just tired of the revolving door. So
Right.
that's why I don't know if my local, so that people don't have to do that. If it's 2 a.m. and you need a place, we're going to show up. And so we have a system in place. Also, innovation. We are getting ready to launch a mental health innovation system where, just like the phones, they upgrade. People always don't necessarily want to talk to psychiatrists. Maybe they just want someone to talk to. A lot of our younger generations don't realize when you do talk to a psychiatrist, that follows you.
Yeah.
When they write a prescription, you're in the system. So when you try to get a job, a lot of times, it's detrimental. So we want people in our future generations, there are other resources. We have holistic professionals as well. God created everything for us. And our ancestors, our older grandmothers and grandfathers, they went outside and got certain things, medicinal things for us. And they lived longer than we did.
Yeah.
So we give people a choice. And so that's where the innovation comes in, because we have to upgrade in order to be able to let them know that there are other resources. And that's what's going to get their attention. Because
Right.
they're really tired of what they're seeing. And so they feel like, they're not going to help. All I do is call and I get put on hold. There's no one there. There are no more beds. And I hear it all the time.
Let me ask you a question. Because I heard again, and I think you said something, and Chris. A lot of times we want to start stuff, and I'm with Miss Angela. It's time out for all of it. We try to create so many programs, and nothing is going on with the programs. Like you said, people get put on hold, or they just don't get seen about. How is it that we can create this kind of campaign without the program, but be a help without the resources? We need a lot of resources to do a lot of this stuff. So what do we do? Because a lot of times, even with us applying for resources, they put us on hold for that, and we can't reach who we need to reach. So you got people like Bishop Wheat. I had a young lady move to my house, for domestic violence, molestation, and all that. I had a young man I took from Pine Street. I don't know if y'all remember Pine Street.
I'm Pine Street by 10.
All the came up. I'm tired of people coming down here just seeing and feeding me. What are you gonna do to help? And that did something to me. And immediately, I don't know, I'm like him now. I was gonna say, I don't know what told me to just respond, but I know what it told me. But at the end of the day, I said, okay, you know what? We got to be a change somewhere. Let me start like this. And that young man, he stayed in my house for like 3 or 4, was a big help. He lived in Arizona now. But he was a big help once he all they looking for is the opportunity.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
We can give them that opportunity, because a lot of programs they don't know about. A lot of things they don't know how to get to. So, but once we get it out there for them to get to,
Yes.
then we can be that help. But people like us, the churches, like we don't run, what is it, New Birth or World Changes. We don't run them churches. So our resources not like that. So what do we do? But our church is the one that really want to help. If you understand, not put nobody under the bus.
Yes.
But we the ones that really want to help, and we don't have those resources.
And that's what we're looking for.
Yes.
We understand that people will work in silos. And these are people who said, look, I don't have the background, I don't have the resource, but I got the heart. I see a problem and I know how to fix it. I know how to help. I know how to get out here and ask them what they need. And that's what we're looking for. Our office is not creating programming. We're collectively pulling everyone together to go in a common direction instead of people working in silos. So no, the government is not leading effort. You're the expert. We're saying you're not the only one though. They're doing this as well. Bishop, we have programs similar to yours. We want to connect the two of you all. And we've identified some federal funding that could help you do this work more efficiently. So that's what our office is taking the role of. We see the resources everyone with our platform. Everyone calls the mayor's office. And we're glad and we're utilizing that to help leverage what you are doing out there. And we want the people that said, I may not have the resource, but I'm still going to do the work because I have a heart for it.
That's
The
it.
faith community has been one of the strongest, the faith and the CVI community, because you all get out there and get it done. And that's who we're looking for. And that's who we're trying to support and elevate the work that you're doing.
And also, with that, that's great. We need hands-on.
Mhm.
We're hands-on. A lot
Right.
of these people just need someone to hold their hand.
Yes.
Okay. You assign someone. We have volunteers. We have professionals. We don't let those people go until they get what they're looking for. We have a plan of action. At the end of the day, we talk, we have meetings, but what are we going to do? What are we doing? And so that's what people want. They want solutions.
Yeah.
And that's what we're about, is providing solutions so that we can make sure they get to the next level.
Yes.
And this one of the things I said, I shared it with Mr. Chris. I said, it's not what we talk about at the meetings,
Mm-hmm.
but it's what we do after the meetings.
Yes.
For 7 years. And I'm not making this about me, but it's about my organization. And we are the organization, Operation Push 2. 7 years, we hadn't spent Thanksgiving with family, period. Every Thanksgiving, we are downtown, passing out salt. And let me tell you something. And for me, it's heartfelt because if you hear some of their stories, everybody ain't down there because they want to do drugs, or some people had a bad fall. One guy, I'll never forget this guy. I'm talking about new physics. I'm talking about genius. He said, man, he said, I moved to Atlanta because Atlanta was the growing melting pot. Came down here and found out that my wife was seeing another woman. He said, she was my only family. He was like, that was my world. And I know more men were like, man, I would love that, man.
No,
But he wasn't with that. So he mentally, he could not accept that. And so he ended up, you know what I'm saying, in versus going back home and to his family, that he lost his wife down here in Atlanta, he went to the streets. But just hearing him, man, when I tell you, man, I sat there for about an hour. My wife, her friends, all of them, man, they was taking their shoes, giving their personal shoes, whatever we can do to help. Because like I said, you never know when you need help.
Yes.
And I tell people all the time, I preached a sermon one time, it don't hurt home until it hit home. When it hits your door, then you want to, you want everybody to be involved. But what are we doing now? Right now, we're facing three things. There's a war on crime, period. But when we're dealing with gang activity, me and Mr. Chris was sitting here talking. I said, Mr. Chris, you know what for? He knew somewhere. He passed the tech. I just want to see how G he was. Walk around in these suits. Yeah, man. Listen, I want to see how G you walk around in these suits now. I didn't even know if he get down, man. I got somebody gonna get down with me. And I said, you know what 404 is? He said, I don't quite know what that one is, but what that one is. And I was explaining to him, I said, that's Oakland City. That's a gang they have in Oakland City. I said, you know what, Cleveland? He said, I cannot. Yeah, I said, Cleveland, that's Cleveland. I said, that's blood territory. So I was just getting them all the detail. And I told him, I said, man, because I'm still in these communities. If I get one to say, you know what, man, what you said the other night, I thought about it.
Yes.
I got a young man now had been locked up 27 years. That's a member of the church. Well, I tell you, I have no issue with this young man. I'm talking about Mr. Chris. Beat me to church.
Yeah.
And these are the people that, though I say, hey man, listen, everybody else will count these out. You know what I'm saying? God gave me a season to say, hey, listen, bro, you can make it. But you got to listen. That our generation now, they don't want to listen. And they know everything. They don't realize the fire is hot, so their whole body is burnt up. Hey man, there was a fire before you walked in it. I was trying to tell you, but no, you knew it. Yeah, you knew it. You didn't want to listen. And so when I look at it now, I called her one day, and I thought Dr. Lena was gonna, she's gonna shoot me in the bull, but she kept it 1,000 with me. I said, Dr. Lena, I just read something. I do a lot of reading. So I just read something. It says 97% of the world deal with mental illness. Am I in that 97?
That's okay.
Yeah, right.
We all.
I want to be a part of that 3%. You know what I mean?
We done dealt with.
We do.
Yeah, and she talked.
You go through the history of the home, you'll find out.
Yeah, she told me. She said, Pastor Wheat, you know, I know you may not want to believe it,
Mm-hmm.
but she said there's preachers that's dealing with it. She said, and y'all may even be dealing with it the most because
Spiritual warfare.
yeah, right, yeah.
Oh, I know now. Let me. I'm like,
You know, like their staff is going through depression
Yes.
because the increase
yes.
of the bodies that they're in.
Yeah.
So can you only imagine mentally you have to go to sleep subconsciously with the vision
Yes.
of that person.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when the little kids. I used to work.
Yes.
But see, you know what? I just told them this, and my mental was tested because I had did so many young people funeral. It was like I preached more during funerals than I did at my actual church. So I was just like, I'm talking about, y'all, I was preaching every Saturday. Every Saturday, I'm talking about no off. Just every Saturday, I was doing a funeral. And sometimes I was doing 2 funerals in one day. And I was sharing it with Chris. I said, Chris, that's what hurt me about doing a funeral. I'd rather do a graduation or a wedding. But what hurt me about the funeral when I see the young man that look like us. Every funeral I'm doing, they remind me of me. And so when I say, you know, every time I see a hearse or a funeral car, I'm doing a funeral. And this is not that y'all, so please don't say, we dealing with Pastor Lee, we talk too much. But I say to myself, what did we do? When I say we, I'm talking about all of us. What did we do?
What did we do?
Where did we go wrong? What did we do that we could have done to prevent this? Because sign come before warning. Warning will come before destruction. I was so glad that she identified the young lady who had been abused because I would have missed it.
Yes.
I would have missed it. I just try to stay clear.
Yes.
Listen, my wife told me you got 2 H's. Hey, goodbye. Hey, that's it. So I know the rules.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I would have never seen it, but when she told me, she said, "That's sweet. This young lady she's been abused. She got jumped on this morning." And then she opened up. When y'all see him, I'm seeing him because they told me, they were like, man, it's men's that's been abused. I promise you, I never heard it.
Oh no, it's very real.
I never heard it to the day. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, when he was telling me, he said, bro, it's men getting abused. I'm like, what? What man is getting abused?
Plenty.
So when I heard Terry, back to Terry, when he said in Hollywood, and it just finally came out that he was molested. And he said because he was so, he couldn't tell nobody, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, you know what I mean? What the guy named, the Caucasian brother, he got caught up in all the big Hollywood executive in Hollywood, the white guy, Caucasian brother.
Oh.
Yep, yeah. Oh. So he was young when he first started Hollywood, he molested him. And I'm just like, how? You know, it makes me a mental even just even thinking about it.
That's what even with domestic violence, a lot of time we look at that we're being hit on. No, just like him, he was abused, and because he was just standing there watching his mother getting abused. So it worked a whole lot of ways, whether physically, mentally. Yeah. Now he caught up in the mental part of it and the domestic violence part of it. So it's terrible because, again, even with me, I was caught up mentally because I didn't want to abuse her, but on the other side, she was abusing me. And I didn't want to, even with the molestation. See, I'm very trained, man. I'm 35 years old. I had to wait till I was 35 years old to understand I had to release this. Because otherwise, I could have been on that block saying, you know what, I can't take this, I'm going to kill myself.
Yes.
So you have to release, and a lot of times these people don't have that release station.
Right.
And because they think if I tell this, he's gonna make fun of me. If I go to her, she's gonna think I'm a punk. I tell everybody, I was molested by my uncle. And when I told my dad and some of them, they was like, "Boy, stop playing, go and get out of here." And see, and that can damage you even the more. If I didn't have the God in me that I have was stronger, guess what? And that's where that faith-based station comes in. Because if I didn't have it, I could have went crazy. Because now my dad don't believe.
Right.
You understand? And then when I told it, guess what? My sister came out, my cousin came out, people,
Free people.
it started spreading like a
Yeah.
virus. How many people done got molested by people in our family? And it was crazy because I was like, wow. And then, knowing God, I was like, God, you're going to have to deal with it. And, I wasn't saying kill him, but he had an aneurysm and died on his job 2 weeks after I finally came out. So we got to have those outlets, those spaces to get, like I was, a lot of people say, make jokes now. Make me too big if you done got molested. No, I was molested. My uncle. But I tell him in a minute, ain't nothing gay about it.
Right.
So, that was a phase. I went through it. God done delivered me and set me free. I can talk about it. So my talking about it can help you.
Yes.
So
and it takes one person to open the door. Like I'm saying, open the door to talk about it. You're not going to open it. We did that special, and her audience was flooded with men. Oh yeah, telling their stories. So this is the kind of platform saying, I wish the city of Atlanta would have to bring men to the forefront because it makes them angry. It builds a rage. How can they be the man of the household with that on their mind constantly? That makes them feel less for man because what they've gone through. But once they have a platform or people they can trust, they can release that and then start fresh. So to me, that is so important. I think it's definitely needed. And also with the younger generation, Pastor Reed mentioned, meeting them where they are. Yeah. I talk to my two, they're in college right now. They tell me all the time that no one listens. My son was coming in the 2020 COVID where he wasn't able to march. And so that affected that class. Mentally, it really affected them. So they are, as the word says, that we are wiser than wiser. So we have to meet them where they are because they can actually help us with the new innovation. Yeah. And so a lot of times we have to just take off all of this, just meet them where they are, go with blue jeans, t-shirt, and say, hey, what's going on? We're just here to listen because that makes them feel accepted. Right now, they don't feel accepted.
Yeah.
And I'd like to say thank you too. Thank you for speaking out because there's so many people that are listening or watching that are men that won't speak up. But they see you and they can connect and feel like I can share too because they feel like my manhood would be challenged if I tell you what I experienced. But what we experience don't define who we are. Absolutely. And you just are a testament to that. So thank you so much for speaking out and hopefully it releases other men to be able to share that story that happened. Because once you get it out of you, you can heal and move forward. It doesn't have to keep leaking into other areas of your life. So thank you so much.
And then just someone put on the table, while we're here, and you can get some, you can take it back and collaborate or whatever. But we want to do it for them, where we can sit down and get to sit involved with the young men.
Yes.
Because there's some young men that things going on. We can talk about the problem all day long, but if we don't address the root of the problem, it's still just gonna come back and grow.
Yes.
It's still gonna come back and grow. So I always just, like you said, Father, me and you for sharing that. I would have never in 100 years thought it. You know what I'm saying? And it don't take away and it don't delay them anything. It makes them bold. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I told my wife, you know what I'm saying? My wife got a story, you know what I mean? And that's one of the reasons made me love my wife because I was like, all you experience as a child and you still standing.
Yes. And more so.
Yes. And I was just like, hey man, listen, man. And people don't understand. She told me one day, she said, baby, I pray to God for a good man. Never thought it would be you. And she said, because I deal with all my life coming up, I deal with abandonment. You know what I'm saying? So I was always used to somebody that I love will always walk out and leave me. You know what I'm saying? I said, listen, man, the only way I'm gonna leave you is the children don't get grown and get out. If God take me home. But other than that, yeah, man, if I'm gonna have to leave Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm trying to be good.
Well, like I told her, I said, when you just said there are so many men that got the same story.
Yes.
And won't tell, you know what I'm saying? And won't, because I know if you get in a black family, I can't talk about nobody other family. I can talk about our family. Black family had one golden rule. What goes on in the house,
stay in the house.
Yeah.
Because we need to do the intergenerational home and you say get into the root of it, So this is what we have to do. It goes all the way back to the beginning, going back to asking questions, and that's what I did. after my husband. I had no idea because I'm 2 generations. His mother and grandmother were institutionalized. So I had to ask questions. Because there are 2 children. And I said, no, the buck stops here. So someone has to be responsible to raise that. And it's usually one person within the family. And there's a lot of lashback because they don't want to talk about it. So I always
They want to bury it, they
they
suppress
want to
it.
bury it, right?
Yeah.
So, I always say, ask questions if you don't know. There are signs. We just have to pay attention.
Yes.
I would love, I know we can ready to wrap it up, man. I would love to get a list. Oh yeah, we gotta bring Mr. Resident. We gotta let everybody say, hey man, clean this man here. This man is so clean. And listen, man, the man is clean. The man, listen, man, the man cleaner than both of him, man. Listen, man, we got hey man, listen. They call the man Young Bishop in here, man. They thought he could have preached a sermon, man. He came there so clean. Come on in here, man. Yeah, man. I'm just gonna speak 3 piece. Man, listen, man. The man did a 3-piece like a
Yes,
piece.
sir. Yes, sir.
Hey man, tell everybody who you is, man. What you got going on, man? How the city is so reluctant to have a guy like you on the team.
Yes.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. I'm Reggie Range. Work for the Mayor's Office of Violence Reduction. I over the youth violence reduction model.
Okay.
So I do all things youth. Just trying to see how we can combat, just this senseless gun problem that we have in the city and around the metro area. So really just honing on trying to create spaces for our young people in the city so they won't divert to that gang violence that you were talking about, or so we can kind of come back some of those funerals that you did.
Right.
57. Right.
And it's
That's
still
too many.
and we still in camp. Watch this. I'm gonna share this and then we're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna put something on your hearts and your mind. There was a story about this farmer had a farm. And on his farm, he had animals. But what was happening was he had a snake on the farm that was going around eating up the animals and eating up the different vegetables he had. So this rat was a pest to him. So he wanted to get rid of the snake and the rat altogether. So what he did was he set out a rat trap. He sets out the rat trap. The rat sees the trap. So the rat say, you know what? Let me go to the chicken. Chicken will help me, you know what I'm saying? Say, listen, bro, chicken. I see the owner set out a rat trap for me. He said, man, listen, I need you to help me get rid of the trap so he don't kill me. So the chicken tells the rat, he said, listen, brother, I would love to, but that ain't got nothing to do with me. Between you and him, he set out a rat trap. He set out a chicken trap. So he went on. So then he goes to the pig. He said, well, me and the pig, we get down, we all in the mud, so I know he'll help. He goes to the pig, he said, Mr. Pig, the owner of this farm have set out a trap. Pig looked at him, he said, hey, brother, he said, you're on your own, that ain't got nothing to do with me. He said, that's all on you. He set out a rat trap, and he set out a pig trap. He said, wow. He said, well, you know what? The cow is humble. So I know the cow will help you. So he goes to the cow. He said, listen, Mr. Cow, the owner of the farm has set out a rat trap, and I need you to help me because I don't want to die. He said, well, listen here, my little friend, I would love to have you. He said, but I stay in my own life. He said, that has nothing to do with me. He didn't set out a cow trap. He set out a rat trap. So by this time, they hear something, bah! You got to be scared.
I was feeling I'm going there with you.
Okay. So he hit a rat trap. So he goes to the trap, and the owner sees that it's a snake. He said, okay, well, I got the snake, but I still didn't get the rat. So when he reached down, he assuming that the snake was dead. So as he reached down to grab the snake bit it. And the man fell ill. So he began to get real, real sick. And what happened when we in the house? First thing happened when we get sick, what we do? Mama make us some chicken noodle soup. So they had to kill a chicken to make this chicken noodle soup. So everybody said, man, his condition is changing, it's getting worse and worse. So people from everywhere began to come to see the man. So the son said, you know what, everybody coming over here, we at least got to feed the people. We got to give them some breakfast. We got to give them some lunch. So you know they're gonna need a little pork chop and a little bacon. So they had to kill a pig.
Pepper.
And so the man ended up dying, and they had to have a repast. So they ended up killing a cow. The moral of the story is when it affects one of us, it affects all of us.
Yes.
So the
Yes.
accountability is on
All of us, not just the city, but all of us.
Yes. Not just the city. We don't look for the mayor taking on one and wave his hand and crap.
People do.
Yeah, I believe it. But my thing is, I just shared this. I'm a real preacher. I said this is my thing. You have and not trying to make this so spiritual, but it's spiritual with me. Jesus took 12 men and changed the world. We got mega churches and can't even change the community. So what's the real issue? My issue ain't with y'all. My issue with church. Because we at the church, we don't turn the light off.
Yes, sir.
When the light should be turned on. Listen, really, y'all should be saying, good job, church.
Good job.
Yeah, really, that's how we expect y'all to say good job, church, because y'all are the pillar of the community.
Yeah.
Ain't no children going to church no more. Ain't no, listen, man. You go to church now, get what I had to tell the church. Please, listen. I had to cut a deal to get them there now.
Get them there.
Well, I had to tell them this. Listen. I had to tell them if y'all would. They'll tell what I read from. What I read from the church. What I read from in the church, baby.
The Bible.
What I read from in the church.
Tablet.
No, what do I read from in the church?
The Bible.
The Bible. It look real. Listen, let's create. It look real player and real extravagant, man. To flip the tablet and to work the iPad. When I go straight to the Bible, I go to the hardcover because if the internet or something go out, and your whole sermon is on. I had a register here in the heart, bro. So get what? I don't even need that. But if you train the children to go to their tablet, get what they're gonna do? They're gonna be on their tablet, but they're gonna be on social media. So you still don't. That's why I tell them, listen. I ain't trying to tell you don't. And if that's your form of Bible, that's cool. But we're a Bible-based church. So bring the Bible. When we teach them, bring the Bibles. And we read the Bible. I live by Luke 1:37. And scripture says, for with God, nothing is impossible. I live by that. 2006, I had 3 strokes and a heart attack. God set me back for a greater comeback. And my promise to him, I told him, I said, listen, Lord. I said, if you allow me to walk again, if you allow me to talk again, I change my life. I'm through the streets, through selling the dope, I'm through. And so now me and my whole team, my brothers, we're a product of the street. But what we decided to do to make a conscious decision, say, if we were responsible for help 10 down the village, then it's only responsible for us to help build it back up.
Yes.
Yeah. And so that's what we're doing. We want to team up with them. We want to team up with other people that going our direction.
Yeah.
Listen, man, we did a back to school drive. And this brother here showed up. You clean in. Hey, that's what you told me. Bitch, I'm coming over to your church and I'm gonna see a night off. I'm still waiting on that. He say he coming. He go back to the vision. He say he coming. Hey man, listen, we on the heart of the ghetto. If you put in 4 seasons, yeah, well, you gonna see us.
Okay.
Yeah. So we still in the hood, man. We ain't left nowhere. But I want to say this before we get out of here. When you look around this room, you look at the village.
Yes.
And the village is the government, it's preachers, it's individuals who come together for one cause.
Yes.
There's some other things that I'm working on with Mr. Chris Resurrection along with his team. But this ain't about religion. This is about people coming together and saying, listen, for the common, like I said, when it affects one of us, it affects all of us. So that we don't have to be we don't have to be the pig, so we don't have to be the cow or the chicken. Yeah, we gotta say, what we gotta do to help my brother. So we all gonna be affected by this. You see what I'm saying? Hey, listen, this I'm just putting it out here. We need to bring some things back. When I say bring some things back, I ain't talking about the electric chair. I'm not talking about a new jail. Let's get them before they get there.
Yes.
Let's listen. She got a lot of stuff
Yes.
lined up. I would love to sit down with y'all team and
Yes,
discuss
absolutely.
about
already thinking that.
yes,
Absolutely.
mental illness, because she brought that to my attention. She said,
Yes.
I know you trying to get the gun out of his hand, but you first got to get his mind right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't get his mind right, he's still gonna pick up the gun.
Yes.
Yes.
So you gotta address the root. Why you so angry?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you so angry? You might be holding on to something like Bishop will hold on
Yes.
to. But Bishop free now because
He's
he let
free.
it go.
He's
You see
free.
what I'm saying? When you think about our little sisters and nieces
Mhm.
that have been molested by family members,
Mhm.
people that
And
supposed to
nephews.
protect them,
Yeah.
yes,
Mhm.
cousins and all this,
Mhm.
that we know about it,
Mhm.
but we kept it quiet. So now you wonder, man, why she so promiscuous?
Mhm.
Why she so why he's so you see what I'm saying? It's because y'all seen it, but you turned your head.
Yes, sir.
And because you didn't deal with it, now there's the repercussion of it.
Mhm.
So when we look at our youth now, what we're gonna have to do, what's Craig? What we gotta do, Silver Line, what we're gonna have to do, preach, get what, man? Gotta put the titles to the side.
Yes.
It ain't about your titles, it ain't about your degree, it's
That's
about your
right.
service.
That's right.
And
That's right.
as well, because a lot of family members,
About
that's the
service.
norm.
Gotta service.
And some
Yeah.
families, you know, the molestation is a norm to them.
Yeah.
It was all the way, like I said, generation after generation. So touching someone in the family was normal.
Right.
So because again, we didn't get to the root of it, and that's where the spiritual perspective comes in. Healing.
And it wants to go.
This segue to what we're facing as we talk about things coming. You know, I was charged, and we was charged when we came to this office. Set it up as the way of the city. And for me, being here and everybody else who knows about the history of Atlanta, we'll set up on moral compass. We'll set up on preachers, thrive to do what is needed to do for the common man, right? And you touched on multi-faith. And so in the days of COVID, you'll be seeing our office putting out how we pray for violence reduction. And we thank you for having us here and also being a part of this and making sure that we get this out to the community. Because we, like you said, it's the root cause, but we also know it's one Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Like the mayor says, it's a group project,
Mhm.
right? And so when we bring in the faith-based, like you said, the community, and we bring in all the other grassroots organizations, and we bring in the mama, the aunties, to stand and say, hey, we are standing in solidarity of reducing violence, whether it's domestic violence,
Mhm.
whether it's
Fun.
gun violence, whether it's
Violence,
Sex
period.
trafficking.
violence, period.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, we all have grown from being in the city of Atlanta. The city of Atlanta has afforded me a lot of things. It's gave me some pride. It has given me opportunity to have a home, a beautiful wife, and also being in a space of fulfillment. You know, I've been in criminal justice for a moment, entry, started way back in the clerk's office working for HB 440. So I've been dealing with kids and families in the city of Atlanta from the day that I moved here. And so whether it's in Leland,
All
whether
right.
it's Mechanic,
Mhm.
whether it's on Bankhead, you know, I've seen families in the same cycle. I work at Rice Street. So I know what's in the
Right Street
But
or
I'll-
Jefferson Street.
Rice Street.
Okay, you know what Jefferson before.
I know
right?
what Jefferson
Oh,
Street.
okay.
But I started out at Rice Street.
Okay, 901.
Yes, sir. And so I've seen what violence has done to families, and I've seen how it's destroyed families and communities. And so, opportunity here with the mayor's office of Office and with the team and with leadership of our director Marcus Walker, we're set to put things in this place to make sure we do what we have to do for the city. And we got a cause, and we want to make sure that our faith-based community is a part of what we're doing in the city. And like we said, multi-faith.
Yeah.
Because it takes all of us. It
Well-
takes all of us to make sure we do the correct things.
Well, I want to say this right here. I have a team already. A multi-faith ready. I told them about things that we got potentially coming up here on board.
Yes.
And so, my Muslim brothers, they ready to get involved. My Presbyterian brothers, which is, my Caucasians, they ready to be a part because they realize it affects all of us. So we got to be a part of this change. I want to say this real quick before we go. About 3 weeks ago, I don't know if y'all watched the news or not, but I tell you, that's on TV. I watch people say, well, news is so depressing. But if you don't watch the news, you don't know what's going on.
We don't.
And so that's the only thing I really watch is the news. And 3 weeks ago, Apostle Longino, they did a prayer down at the jailhouse. And they caught it on the news. They went in for show of camera, but we have so many young brothers calling us from the jail that's in need.
Yes.
And so we did a prayer. They went down there and just prayed. They ran us off the jail property, but we went across the street. Apostle Longino himself, man, he prayed for all the inmates. Not only just the inmates, but he prayed for the workers as well.
Yes.
Because some of them are being, compromised. Some of them are being hurt, you know what I'm saying? So all together, man, we gotta just do better. He told me one time, he said, Pastor, what do you expect from the city? I said, visibility and accountability. He's been showed up, man. Listen, man. Listen, Greg, I ain't trying to put you on the spot, but he answered phone.
Oh.
He's
the point person.
Here's what he said. He said, hey, I need you to meet Bishop Wheat. All right. They passed by. Chris, I need you to meet Bishop Wheat.
Appreciate it.
By that third, he was like, hey, you will meet. I appreciate him for that.
Yeah.
Because again, we're all in a group project.
Yeah.
Angela, Reggie, Director Walker, so we're four. But we're trying to make sure that we are out here doing the work and understanding what the mayor is asking us to do. And so, and again, like I said, that faith-based piece is a part of the city of Atlanta. Like it wouldn't be, we wouldn't be if we didn't have some type of faith. Some type of faith and some hope.
Right.
Because we all came here on second chances, new things, new beginnings. It doesn't matter. If you have some type of moral compass, and I tell people, my grandma, I was born Baptist and AME, but my grandma had me everywhere because she loved the Lord.
Right.
And she loved people.
Right.
And so that's the one thing that I take from her that I'm grateful that I have now. Because it doesn't matter white, black, green, purple. We got to come together for this cause.
Yes.
Because we love the city.
Yes,
Well.
we do.
That's right.
It's entertainment, it's business. We've been, the first in a lot of different areas. And so we want to make sure we continue to do that and make sure that we understand what got us to this space.
Amen.
To be able to do this work that our community needs.
Right.
Because again, we heard it. We understand there's some challenges, but we up for the challenge.
Right.
We up for the challenge.
And like you said, it's called rebuilding the bridge.
Yes.
Yes.
Because that bridge,
Yes.
you got the government on one side of it, you got the preachers on one side of it. Now under the bridge, you got the community.
Yes.
So we got to bridge this gap.
Yes.
So they understand. Yeah, but only reason the police should be coming through our neighborhood is to do welfare checks.
Yes.
Hey, we just over here because somebody said they ain't heard from Ms. Delmar in 3 weeks. We just want to make sure she's okay.
Yes.
Once we get the community back involved,
Yes.
we can tell her, hey, come on, man. Listen, Miss Morgan them is not at home, but come on, you know better. Get your butt to school.
Yes.
Gotta get too much of it. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Once we kill that synopsis, you know what I'm saying? It ain't got nothing to do with me, but it does have something to do with me. We're gonna be better. And you let the mayor know, hey man, we support it. We behind them, we behind you all.
Thank you.
Hey man, listen, I got some going now. Look at some food. I got some going.
You got some goons on your team? We need them.
Let's suit up.
We need them. Yes. Come to Atlanta. We got it.
You got me telling when I talk. We got you.
We good. Okay.
Listen, it has been an exciting hour Boy, had the mail team, man, Reginald boy, man, he clean. Listen,
Talking to that.
hey, listen, man, the man cleaning the mission, man. You know, hey, man, I thought I was doing something, man. You know, hey, man, we thank y'all truly for y'all time and for coming out. Looking forward, like I said, Dr. Lena has a lot
Yes.
of expertise when it
Looking
comes
forward
to
to it. Yeah.
mental illness. So we just, like I said, we're a team. Let's put it all together
Yes.
to be a help
Yes.
to the community. Make a difference. I tell you all the time, we can't change the world,
Mm-hmm.
but we can make a difference in the world.
Yes.
And the difference look like us.
That's right.
Hey, man, until next Wednesday. Same time as I always said last night, man, you woke this morning to tell the story, you're still winning. This is a winning Wednesday. I am Pastor Wheat, your voice in the street, my co-host.
Hey, man, I'm Speedy Hood, man. I'm keeping it hood.
Until next Wednesday, we see you at the same time again.